All right, guys, we have some big news to talk about today. This time actually coming out of the LCK. I know we don't always have, the most LCK news ever, but obviously when T1 is doing a roster change, that is always going to be a big story. And as you can see on the screen, the first story we have here is the fact that Gumayusi is leaving T1. Gumayusi was named MVP of the 2025 Worlds Final and is now moving on from T1. It's a true earthquake in the LCK. Gumayusi, as announced by the organization, is leaving T1. The 23-year-old South Korean AD carry departs the most decorated structure in League of Legends history after 7 years, during which he won 3 consecutive World Championships and 1 LCK title. In the same vein as Zeus' departure last year, this one is just as massive. T1 and Gumayusi part ways at the very top, marking the end of a long-running partnership and signaling the breakup of Gumayusi and Keria, a real heartbreak for LCK fans and T1 supporters alike. Again, very, very massive change, again, especially just coming out after a world title and, everything that Gumayusi's been able to do during his tenure with T1. The relationship between Gumayusi and T1 went through turbulent moments this year. At the start of the season, he was temporarily removed from the starting lineup in favor of Smash. It took an intervention from T1 CEO Joe Marsh to bring him back into the main roster. Once reinstated, Gumayusi delivered a remarkable rebound, reaffirming his status as the world's best AD carry, something he proved once again at Worlds. His departure officially closes a chapter in T1's history, a chapter that had already started to dissolve with the exit of Zeus last year. With Gumayusi now moving on, only 3 members remain from the legendary ZOFGK lineup. Doran's future is also unclear as his contract nears its end, while Zeus faces a similar situation over at Hanwha Life Esports. Meanwhile, owner, Faker, and Carrier remain tied to T1, with the GOAT contracted through 2029 and the other 2 until 2026. Everything is in the title. A 3-time world champion, 3 in a row, is leaving his team. Since his arrival in the LCK, Gumayusi's rise began at the end of 2020 during the regional finals, where he narrowly missed out on a Worlds qualification. The 2021 season was a difficult one, marked by rotation between him and Teddy. It wasn't until the end of that year that the staff made their choice, giving Gumayusi the full-time starting role. He then played at Worlds, where T1 fell in the semifinals to DWG Kia. Everything that followed was success. LCK Spring Champion 2022, MSI Finalist, World Finalist that same year, double LCK Finalist in 2023, and a World Champion. LCK Spring Finalist in 2024, and once again a World Champion. MSI Finalist in 2025, and for the 3rd consecutive time, a World Champion. He leaves with his head held high, a player ready to conquer new horizons. So, not only, obviously, do we have massive news there that Gumayusi is leaving T1, but we also have the news for what his replacement is going to be, and this is Paze, set to join T1. At 19 years old, Paze is a 3-time LCK champion and an MSI champion. This is the bombshell of the offseason. Paze is set to join T1 in the LCK, sources tell Sheep Esports on Monday. He will succeed the 3-time consecutive world champion Gumayusi within the most decorated organization in League of Legends history. A phenomenon, an immense talent, and a remarkably precocious player, Paze boasts a resume at just 19 years old that many veterans would envy. 3 consecutive LCK titles and a mid-season invitational victory, achievements he earned while wearing the Genji jersey at only 17 and 18 years old. Again, we talked about how, the T1 and, Gumayusi relationship, and it's how it's the end of an era and all this crazy stuff. But again, not only the big, massive news today that Gumayusi is set to be leaving T1, but also who his replacement is coming in as well. Very, very massive news on both fronts, and we'll have to see, how the rest of this offseason plays out for T1. Like we said, is there more changes to this roster coming? Or is this, all that we're going to see so far? I don't know. We're going to have to wait and see. But pretty massive and insane news coming out of the LCK today. Again, that Gumayusi is set to leave T1 after his insane tenure there and all the success they had and all that stuff. And Paze is on the way in. Pretty insane move coming out of the League of Legends world today. But always plenty more to come. So make sure you guys stay up to date on all of our, Sheep Esports like places. Twitter, website, all over the place. Hopefully we catch you guys in the next one. Until then, peace.